Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another creative video at my YouTube channel and my blog, keepsakecrafts.net. Today I'm going to show you how to use polymer clay to make this faux stamped metal pair of earrings. So for a complete list of all the supplies that you will need to make these earrings, you can go to the blog post link that's in the description box below, or you can click the link up here. So the first thing you will need is some polymer clay, and the color doesn't matter at all. You can use scrap clay and just get a nasty gray color all mixed up. It doesn't really matter because we're going to paint it. And then you will need some kind of a stamp for texture. And what I have here is just a paisley stamp from this set, and you can see it has a lot of really nice texture. And then you'll need one of these. This is just an acrylic block that we use to mount rubber stamps for stamping, like in card making and such. And it's a good idea to have a spray bottle full of water for a release. And you just spray a light mist on the stamp. That's all you need. It doesn't need to be saturated. And that will just make sure that the stamp releases from your clay. You can also use something like Armor All. That's a great release. Now I've got my clay rolled out on a pasta machine to the thickest setting. And then I'm just going to put my stamp on the clay. And then you want to press down pretty hard. And I like to press top to bottom, side to side, and try to get a nice, even impression. Actually, it's not a bad idea to stand up and press down. Next, you'll need a cutter, and this is just a cutter that I found in the cake decorating section of my local craft store. It's a 1-inch circle, but you could use any shape that you wanted to make these. And a little bit of plastic wrap. What the plastic wrap does is it helps you have nice, soft edges on your piece. So you just lay the plastic wrap over your impressed clay, and then take your cutter, and I'm just going to use my acrylic block to press down on the clay. That saved my fingers from having to press into this. And so as it presses down, you can see the plastic wrap has smoothed out those edges so they're nice and round. This is another reason to have a nice deep impression from the rubber stamp, because the plastic does smooth it out a little bit. Then you use a blade to scoop it up, and often there's a seam on your cutter, so you just want to use your finger to smooth out that seam, and then also you can smooth out any of the back edges that need to be smoothed out. And then just use a needle tool to make a hole on either side. You'll need to make 2 of these to make a pair of earrings. So then you'll just want to place that on a card so that it doesn't get any shiny spots on the back, and bake them at the manufacturer's recommended temperature for about 25 to 30 minutes. That way they'll be nice and strong. So once your pieces come out of the oven, and here I have a few different sizes and shapes that I made, you want to paint them with some kind of paint. I've used the Swelligant metal coatings. I've used the copper, but it comes in lots of different colors: iron, silver, bronze, brass. So whatever you like, or really you can paint it anything you like. Just paint on a few thin coats rather than a thick coat to get complete coverage. And I also kind of stippled on the back with a brush just for a little bit of texture. So once your pieces are done and the metal coating is completely dry, then you can add a patina. And what I'm using for a patina today is Gilder's wax. The Swelligant line actually has a patina you can add, but this is a little bit quicker. This is a wax-based product, and you just rub your finger in it, and then you can rub over your piece, and you get this great contrasting texture. And the reason I stippled the back of the piece is so that when I rub this on, I would also get high points and low points. And this Gilder's paste takes about 10 minutes to dry to the touch and about 12 hours to be completely dry, and then you can buff it So you used a needle tool to make the holes, but they need to be a little bit bigger than that. So what I have here is a 1/16 inch drill bit. This is meant to go into the chuck of a power drill, but you can just turn it with your fingers. Polymer clay is very easy to drill, especially if you have a starter hole. You don't want to press real hard. Just press lightly and twist and let the drill do the work, and it'll drill out that hole for you. And now to finish our earrings, you'll need some 20 gauge wire. And today I'm using copper to match the earrings. And you'll need to cut a 12-inch piece of the 20 gauge wire, and then use nylon jaw pliers if necessary to straighten it. So you want to make a wrapped loop at one end of your wire. So just grab that with chain nose pliers about 1.5 inches from one end. Bend it down at a 90-degree angle. Grab that with round nose pliers. Make a loop. Finish the loop. Hold on to the loop with one pair of chain nose pliers, and then use the other just to make a few wraps. These don't have to be perfect or neat because we're going to go back over them with other wraps. Trim off any excess wire. And if your loop isn't quite round or isn't quite positioned right, you can just tuck in your round nose pliers. Straighten that out. Now take that same cutter that you used to make your clay pieces, hold your wire against it, and then wrap around a few times. As many as you can. So it really depends on the size of your piece. You might need to cut a longer piece of wire. Go ahead and bend that loop up so it's perpendicular. And then take that extra bit of wire and just go ahead and wrap over all those wraps that you started with. Now your piece should fit perfectly right in those loops because you use the same form to make them both. To attach your clay piece to your wire wraps, you need some 24 gauge wire, slightly finer gauge. Cut yourself a 3-inch piece. Position your clay piece inside the wraps, and then go ahead and slide that wire through, and then you could slide it through again. Give it a pull. Now at this point you may be tempted to use tools to pull on it nice and tight, but remember this is just clay. The wire can cut through it, so it's really better to just use your fingers to wrap this wire through a few times. So this is not only securing your clay piece in the wraps, but it's also quite decorative. And then for the last one, just wrap your piece around and use your wire cutters to cut it a little under 1/8 of an inch beyond the hole. And then use your chain nose pliers to bend that end down and then tuck it right in. And do the same on the other side, tucking the other end of the wire in, and then repeat on the other side. Add an ear wire and your earrings are done. So here's another look at the earrings we made today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you'll give it a try. Using polymer clay to imitate other materials is a favorite of polymer clay artists everywhere. And this simple project is a great way to get started. Thanks so much for watching Keepsake Crafts videos. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share, and check out the other 2 videos up on the screen. You can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and on my blog. Happy creating. Bye-bye.